Good evening, my friends. Today, today I'm going to share from James. I finished up Hebrews, and I probably didn't share nearly enough about what I learned and grasped from that. I guess I've already kind of known what Hebrews is all about, but it is so awesome to be reminded about um, the role of Jesus. And maybe I'll go back into that. But James 1, verses 5 and 6, I need to speak about this today because I started reading James and I just want to talk about faith. James 1, 5 and 6, it says, "If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God that gives to all men liberally and does not upbraid, and it shall be given to him. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. For he that wavers is like a wave of the sea, blown and tossed by the wind. Let not that man think he shall receive anything from the Lord. He is a double-minded man, unstable in all his ways." And it's important to believe this, right? It's so simple. There's so many times where I will sit and stew and ruminate and just process like all my thoughts and then I'll try to, come up with solutions for some of the problems in my life. And then I forget about the simplicity of just asking God for wisdom. You know what I mean? And and we really just need to start applying this in our life. Like, okay, there is no reason to wonder and to grow anxious and worry and whatever it is that get anxiety or get aggravated or even get distressed over situations. We always just need to constantly put them before the Lord. It's not like He's wanting us to bring them to Him. Um, it's not like we're bothering Him. He delights uh, in His people. He delights in those who fear Him and turn to Him and and come to Him in faith. And it says you must ask in faith, nothing wavering. Like he that wavers is like a wave of the sea blown and tossed by the wind. It's like we have to be able to ask the Lord for this and then be able to let it go. This is something I've been struggling with different circumstances. Is just like putting it in the Lord's hands, but then letting it go and not continually tampering with this thing myself. And it's hard, because we want to see things right now, you know. Um, it goes back to having patience, like it speaks about in the verses before this. You got to have patience and trust God and see what He does and what He leads you to do. If you are to do something, you should at least wait for Him to prompt you, and not because of you trying to fix this problem or make something happen or have to have something right now. You really need to, when I really look at my circumstances, I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm not really in a bad place. I got money and whatever, I have what I need. My kids are healthy, my wife, everything is good. So, you know, I really have everything I need, you know. And the other part of let them ask in faith is we really need to believe God is who He is, and it's like when you seek, like when we're seeking God, it's like we shouldn't have to look far. If we really understand who He is, like, and believe who He is, it's like as great as He is, all it takes is for us to speak to Him. You know what I mean? Or call on Him and He hears. You know what I mean? He is everywhere and in everything, and He's so great. Like, I don't know. I've been thinking about the faith. We need to have faith in who God is and how great He is and how He's in everything and how He's given us a purpose and a life and for good. And He's good and He has good intentions and He wants to do good. And I just think sometimes whenever we're like feeling like, oh God, like, why are you doing this to me? Or like, why aren't you hearing me? Or whatever, like, we have to know that God heard us, and that if the circumstances don't change, it's for a purpose. And we need to realize when we ask for wisdom, I don't know if we understand fully how that's going to come sometimes. Maybe when we ask for wisdom and our circumstances change and things get difficult and we are under a lot of pressure, maybe that's the answer. And then we're going to be trained and receive a revelation of something greater. So let's have faith. Let's believe that God heard us. When we asked for whatever it is that we asked for, He's given it to us. Maybe it just doesn't look the way that we had anticipated, but let's continue to be unwavering and putting our trust in Him. Amen.